Vortex is almost 3 months into development now, and we have already grown into a very large community. The client has been updated a lot, but more importantly, we now have news on Vortex Studio, which I'll talk about later. After the last devlog, we got a lot of new players, managing to hit over 100 concurrent players in a single game, which was a new record by far. Naturally, our servers were under a lot of pressure, and players ended up freezing or not even being able to join games at all. Following this, we optimized our networking logic for both the servers and the clients, and we ended up making things 3 to 5 times more powerful than they were before. That means at our current state, we should be able to support 300 to 500 concurrent players, but as we continue to grow, our servers will as well. We added soundtracks to even more maps, and speaking of audio, there really wasn't anything to listen to in the game other than the music, so we added our own custom sound effects to the character controller, including walk, jump, fall, and land. Since we're still testing this, you can only hear your own player sound effects for now, but we will soon have spatial audio support so you can hear more than just yourself. These sound effects are also subject to being modified or replaced in the future. You may have noticed this already, but the in-game UI was fully revamped. This was mainly due to switching libraries, but it ended up being worth it. For example, the leaderboard and chat both look much better now, and many previous bugs were fixed with this. We will also be doing a full overhaul of our website UI pretty soon, since most of it was rushed in order to prioritize the game engine itself. A minor change we did was revamp the search page, making the results similar to the social page. You can now see different cards for each user, with pagination at the bottom to click through different pages. The algorithm for searches was also improved, making it easier to find the exact people you're searching for, rather than having to go through many different pages. The chat is more user-friendly now, and allows common user actions such as selecting, copying, pasting, and more. If you used the settings menu in the past, you may have realized how difficult the sliders were to use. This issue was fixed, and the settings feel much more interactive now. On that note, we also added many more settings, including different graphics that I'll go over soon. The first two were already there, but now you'll notice a slider for sound effects, which I mentioned above. You can also toggle both shift lock and the Discord rich presence, though both are enabled by default. As of now, we have 5 different graphics quality settings. The default, which is level 1, is what Vortex used to be before anything was changed, so things should run the same for you if you don't want to change anything. You can slide through the other graphic settings to see differences with quality, shadows and the viewing distance, fog, and more. Later on, we will add render distance to these graphic settings so things can run better on lower end devices. On that note, we'll also be adding support for Intel Max and other devices that have different GPUs. Please keep in mind that these settings are pretty experimental and there's already some bugs that we know about, and they're also guaranteed to be changed as our client improves. Similarly, upon the release of these new graphics, we also added an FPS cap, which was temporarily disabled due to performance issues, but we'll add this back in a future update. We also fully redid our loading screen, which looks completely different and so much better now. This was a concept submitted by someone in our Discord community, and everyone loved it so much that we ended up using it. The main thing is that it shows general loading info as well as information about the game. The loading screen also has retry logic now in case you're unable to connect to our servers for any reason. As for the player physics, many things are pretty bad right now, such as climbing and also our constant values. Pretty soon we'll be working on redoing our physics system so that it's more accurate to what people are used to. With this, we also plan on adding different obbies so that players can get more comfortable with Vortex. To start, we added camera collisions, which already work very well. Previously, you were able to look through walls freely, but now we changed it so that the camera uses multiple raycasts to figure out collisions with other parts, and based on this, it prevents zooming. The player even begins to fade out if the camera gets too close, as intended. You might have also noticed that we lowered the camera distance required before the player starts fading out, making it more accurate. These things will continue to be improved as time goes on. To further test this, we added the Backrooms map, which is essentially a very big maze. This was submitted as part of our first and only building competition so far, which was actually planned to be added earlier. The only reason we waited was so that people couldn't look through walls to figure out the path, which is good now. If you played Vortex during its early days, back when it was a website, you may remember that you could click players on the leaderboard to friend and follow them. When we switched to an app, this was not initially implemented, but we finally added this back. But as of recording, it's broken, and we'll fix it in the next update. Okay, this next thing might upset some of you, but we finally removed the studs from all 6 sides of the parts. Lots of people were commenting saying it was retroslop and other stuff. So instead, the top face has studs now, the bottom has inlets, and the sides no longer have any textures. In the future, you'll be able to modify parts with textures however you like with Studio, which we'll talk about soon. As for avatar customization, this will be heavily expanded on in the future. There were some bugs with profile pictures not updating and new accounts not having them, but both of these were fixed. I also did a live stream a couple weeks ago here on YouTube where we went over a bunch of different UGC items such as hats, faces, hairs, and even emotes. This stuff will be supported soon, so avatar customization won't just be 2-dimensional anymore. You can also turn on and off the auto rotation while customizing your avatar now, since this was pretty annoying for a lot of users. Alright, let's talk about Vortex Studio, which is the main thing that people have been waiting for a very long time. This has been in development for probably like a few days now, and it's already coming along pretty well. The first thing I did was set up a base plate with basic free camera controls. This includes standard WASD movement, as well as E to move up and Q to move down. Similar to Roblox, the longer you hold down a movement key, the faster you move. Alternatively, you can hold down Shift in order to move slower. Another important thing is that the camera rotates in place rather than revolving around a fixed point, making manipulation much easier. You can also zoom in and out by scrolling as usual. Next, I set up selection logic, which uses the mouse pointer's 2D position to cast a ray from the camera straight towards the direction of the clip. The first part that intersects this ray is selected. I made each raycast visible for testing and development, but this will be removed later. From the navbar, you can also add new parts, which spawn as a default 1x1 stud for now. Now let's talk about the Explorer and properties. Starting with the Explorer, there are two categories for now, which are the workspace and lighting. Since the lighting isn't really customizable yet, let's go over workspace. Every part that's added gets listed here, and you can rename them directly from the Explorer by double-clicking or pressing enter. Clicking an item from the Explorer also selects it in the editor. Under properties, there are two sections as well, the first one being appearance and the second being transform. As of recording this video, the only thing regarding appearance that you can change is the part color, but we will add more things such as transparency in the near future. For transformations, you can change the part's name, which will be moved to a different category later, as well as its position, rotation, and size. All of these inputs have good sanitization, which means they're able to work with multiple formats and parse them to a standard one. Currently, we're also working on the three main transformation tools to be supported in the actual editor, rather than just for the properties panel. This is still in development, but we'll have more updates on it soon. If you're interested in seeing more frequent leaks of Vortex Studio, join our Discord server. That's all I'll show for the studio in this video, but trust me when I say that this is something we're working on actively and prioritizing. I want to get the first version of Studio released around 2 weeks from now, which should include basic building features capable of creating every game that you see on Vortex so far. This won't include scripting yet because there's other things that we have to set up for that, but that will come soon after, and the official language we'll be using is Lua U. Now, security is something that we improve with every video, but there are some important changes and suggestions that we highly recommend you follow. Mainly, we added two-factor authentication, which means you can protect your account with your phone or an alternate device. This will help keep your account extra secure, and it is recommended to enable it before creating games or doing other meaningful stuff on the platform. We'll have support for using your email for multi-factor authentication in the future as well. And just as a general public service announcement, avoid downloading extensions or external applications to enhance Vortex, even if they seem safe or trusted. It's a good practice to keep in mind in general, and we have already seen some instances of seeing people attempt to scam others and steal their accounts. This will become more dangerous as we add a currency and players have progress tied to real games. Some other things we're working on are the chat filter and Linux support. Currently, the chat filter only partially censors messages, but we're going to make it such that any flagged message shows as fully censored in the future. Linux support is complicated since there's lots of different distributions, but hopefully we can have this to you before the next devlog releases. Other than that, we'll be posting some important announcements in our Discord server over the coming few days, including our studio alpha testing program, certain developer applications, as well as new moderators. Make sure you join that, and the link is in the description. Also, let me know if you prefer these bi-weekly devlogs or if I should start doing smaller ones every week instead. Thank you to everyone who has been supporting Vortex so far. Even if you're new here, make sure you subscribe so you can get notified whenever we release more updates or announcements. It's pretty crazy to say this, but we're almost at 10,000 subscribers, and we'll definitely do something special when that milestone is hit. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.